Another week of spoilers is in the books, so let's briefly talk about what new cards have been added to the roster and what impacts they've had on the current meta of the game for all of you out there that have been playtesting with proxies or on any sims out there. First on the list is the new red unit, 6th Street Recruits. It's a 4-cost, 6-power unit with a single RAM requirement. Out of the gate, we can see that it's essentially a counterpart for Blue's Psycho Squad card, as both are identical stat-wise. Where they differ is that 6th Street Recruit allows you to manipulate any gig on the board by increasing the targeted gig by up to a whopping 6 points, provided you have a friendly unit steal a D6 from your rival. So for starters, this card comes in with an aggressive cost and power, making it a very strong early game opener. This unit also is Red's first gig manipulator, as the Alpha Kit's Industrial Assembly card was removed and has not been re-added to the game yet. Being able to manipulate a gig by such a high value is very strong for Red, which is why it has the strict restriction of requiring a specific gig die to be stolen in order to use it. This boost in gig value will help your other red cards, like Carry, the Minotaur, or El Sombreron, whose potential cannot be fully realized without high and or max gigs under your control. This is a very solid unit for Red, and is now our third 4-costed unit for Red, all of whom have at least 5 power, making Red's unit base the strongest amongst all the colors currently for the cheaper units in the game. Second, we have our second signature gear card of the game, the first being Dying Knight. Overwatch has a 4 eddy cost, and it boosts the power of the equipped unit or legend by 4. It has a 4 RAM requirement, so you'll be investing heavily into green to get access to it. The reason for such an investment requirement is because it has a very powerful ability. It's a quick trigger that requires you to spend the equipped unit and spend 1 eddy. You then must discard a card, and you can then defeat a spent rival unit with a cost equal to or less than the cost of the card you just discarded. So to start, gaining 4 power is very solid, and it's a good power boost, but it's an afterthought honestly. You're mainly wanting to use this card for that removal ability. It does require some setup, as it's activated on a quick trigger and can only target spent rival units. Your ideal time to use this card is when your opponent attacks you. You can simply pay the resources required, discard a card, and then defeat the rival attacking unit. When it's defeated, its attack fizzles out and you don't have to worry about losing a gig or a unit that you just blocked with as a result. There are several fun combos to consider when using this card. For instance, you can equip this and a Sandevistan to a unit, and that way you can attack with that unit normally, and then it'll be readied at the end of your turn, so that way you can use the sniping effect during your opponent's next attack. If you notice people not attacking you when you have this card on the field, you could also consider using Evelyn Parker and have her ability force them into attacking you, allowing you to use this card to snipe any targets that you want. The next card to take a look at is the new blue unit. Misty has finally made her way into the game with a pretty appropriate effect. This is a 3-cost blue unit with 0 power and a 2 RAM requirement. She is a unique card as she has the restriction that she is unable to attack. Similar to Corpo Security, however, that card comes with 2 power to make up for that restriction. And it has the blocker keyword. Misty here has neither. She only has her ability. So is that ability worth giving up the ability to attack with this thing? Let's see. Her ability activates at the end of your turn, even the same turn she's played. You must choose a card type, either unit, gear, or program, and then draw the top card of your deck. If you guessed the type correctly, that card is added to your hand and you get to ready 1 eddy. If you guessed wrong, you must trash the card you drew. Now, I won't lie, in the current context of the game, meaning all of the cards we currently have available to us as of late June, this card is pretty lackluster. It is pretty cool to do a bit of gambling and gaining card advantage this way, as well as being able to ready up some of your resources that you spent in your turn, but without being able to attack and having 0 power, I just don't think this card really is worth using right now. I have no doubt this card will be much better when we have access to more cards in the game, as it's another one of those cards that can put other cards into the trash pile for us if we guess wrong. So if you have a deck with a trash pile strategy in it, this card is another one to consider to add to that deck to help that strategy out. We might also have cards in the game that allow you to see the next few cards in your deck before you draw them, allowing you to always hit with her. Now, the Legend River Ward sort of does that already, but it's not really a combo I'd recommend running. The payoff's just not really there right now. I have high hopes for this card and its usefulness upon the official launch of the game, but right now, it's just kinda mid. Hey guys, it's Editor Veritotem here talking about the latest card just spoiled today, Mox Insiders. So I'm going off the cuff with this one. I don't have the script written, so this one might be a little bit rambly, so I'm sorry for that. But what we have here is our second blue reveal this week, so that's cool. Blue Boys Rise Up there. It's a 3 cost unit with 2 power and a 2 RAM requirement. It has the blocker keyword, which is cool to see, so now we have 2 blockers in blue, and this one's cheaper to play than Lizzie Wizzy, and it can also attack, unlike Corpo Surveillance, which is great. It also has an interesting ability for us control lovers, in which a rival unit must attack next turn if it can when you play this card. Now, the wording on this card is a little confusing, and it's already been clarified in the Discord previously, because the Evelyn Parker Legend card has similar wording to this one, in that, does this mean just any unit can attack and it satisfies that condition? What the intent with this ability is, the player who plays this card chooses the unit of their rivals that has to attack. It doesn't explicitly state on this card that you get to target a unit, but that is the intent for it, and they're going to explain that further when the rules are officially fully released. So yes, this card and Evelyn Parker both allow the player that is playing that unit or activating that legend ability to select the rival's unit and force them to attack. It's a good control card. It's a good cheap unit that can block, that can attack, and yeah, it's just gold again in blue, so great for control. Love it. Alright, well, those are the cards that we've been given this week since the last podcast episode aired. I'm curious to see what we'll be getting in the next episode, and you can bet I'll be making a video to talk about it then. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Goodbye.